Hello. Today we continue a very interesting progression from the last two cards, from the Lovers, where we first met the opposite, where we first met the other, and where we were drawn to them in attraction, to the Chariot, where the other became an opposite that we were not drawn to, where there was a battle, a contest, and perhaps like the force of will was required to make things keep going forward. And today we meet strength. And you'll be very interested to know that true strength has nothing to do with force. It has nothing to do with the kind of power of will that is required that was required yesterday with the Chariot. True strength springs from within, and what it springs from is kind of a combination of the Lovers and the Chariot. You don't deny that there are difficult things to deal with and opposing forces that you may not like. But much the same way as if you think of like a relationship where first you're drawn with love and you love this other person so that you just want to be with them forever. But then, the honeymoon wears off, whatever, after a period of time, even sometimes the very thing that you loved, their free spirit, for example, can become something that you abhor, that you just can't stand. Why can't you be more responsible? Sometimes it's the very thing we love, and sometimes that becomes unacceptable, and we find ourselves fighting with, or sometimes it's some other factor. But invariably, love relationships do turn into power struggles, and you can just keep going forward by like the force of will and your promise to be together for a while. But ultimately, you have to come to a different solution, a loving, compassionate solution. And this same fight can happen within. You can start out either with another person or with some path that you've chosen on your own, something that you feel incredibly drawn towards, and then can start to feel all kinds of difficult feelings coming up. Ambivalence, fear of failure, doubt that this is really the right path. And you can keep going on that path for a while, but ultimately, if you are really truly going to keep going, you have to find a different source of strength, or you'll just wear yourself out. So this source of strength comes, it's like Beauty and the Beast, or like a psychological model where you have to dive into the cave and really truly look, really truly observe with completely open eyes that within yourself and or within others, and ultimately what we see in others is a reflection of what's in ourselves, and something we dislike would be something we dislike or don't accept about ourselves. So you have to really look at this quality and understand it, and and through the compassion that this brings up, there is a taming of that beast. So all of the cards that have to deal with this, most of them at least, have to do with some sort of image of a kind of Beauty and the Beast-like image. Here we have a frightening animal that appears to be tamed by a gentle, beautiful, and vulnerable young woman. And that's true here too. And here you see also the heart of compassion and the kind of eternity sign above her. Here is the Rider-Waite version, where once again the lion is tamed by a beautiful woman who's not exerting force. And then the Crowley version, which is numbered 11, and I'll say more about that after. And there you see more the sensual nature, because it's certainly an aspect that many people, certainly in the past, have found hard to accept, is their own sensuality or sexuality. So diving down and really looking at that frees not only your heart for love, for compassion, and for the true expression, for passion, for the true expression of yourself on whatever it is that you're passionate about, you can truly follow. Some decks, and Crowley's was one, and some older decks place strength as number 11, and justice, which is of course another way of dealing with duality, as number 8. But I prefer like many others, to place justice at card number 11, where it is actually in the middle of the major arcana, which seems a very appropriate place for justice. Uh, and, um, and in any event, today we're dealing with strength. You can see from some of these cards that there is like that image of the cave, of that, which brings up the psychological model of having to dive down, and like as Jung with the animus and anima, that can torment you, can be a beast, until you turn around and accept it, and then it becomes your ally and your guide. Or Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche often said, like, run towards fear. Like he cited stories about, there was a story cited about him where he ran towards this wild dog that everyone was running away from. And in other spiritual traditions, you can also think of Gandhi, or the monks and nuns of Tibet, who at one point just placed themselves in front of two warring factions and just stood there. And the fighting stopped. They were as if saying, there can be another way. There is another way. And that is where the true strength lies. Because you cannot really truly look at what you are afraid or ashamed or embarrassed, or what makes you feel insecure or fearful, if you really look deeply at it, either whether it's something outside or within, you will see the hurt that lies behind it. And that can only bring up compassion. And that compassion then unites us, because you recognize the hurt that we all share, and the ways that we, try to defend, where we develop our fangs and our monster-like qualities to fight what we think we have to be afraid of. Where in fact, by accepting with love, we can truly unleash the power that lies within and develop a truer strength than can ever be known by any use of force. Enjoy working today with this card, either by looking at your own demons or by the demons outside of yourself, perhaps in a relationship, perhaps as you reflect upon the struggles that you dealt with yesterday, you can access a deeper level of where the pain arises from, where the opposition arises from, and through that connect to a loving strength that unleashes your passion and your true desire. Have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow with